This week on the Charger Bulletin News, Thanksgiving break reminders, the Hyatt Center celebrates its 6th-year anniversary, and the theater program puts on its production of The Hatmaker's Wife. Right here on Charger Bulletin News. Hello and welcome back to the Charger Bulletin News. My name is Jada Maribel.
And my name is Kat Dennehy. Let's dive into this week's stories.
This past Tuesday, the Hyatt Center for Diversity and Inclusion held the first Indigenous Arts Fest. The Arts Fest marked the last event hosted by the Hyatt Center to celebrate Native American Heritage Month. Music by Indigenous people of Canada played as students took part by enjoying activities such as pot painting and planting seeds, along with beading, a practice done by many Indigenous tribes to make jewelry, belts, and other parts of regalia. Destiny Ray, a junior cybersecurity and networks major and member of the Eastern Picot tribal nation, said that beading, quote, depends on what tribe you're from. It could have different meanings, end quote. Angelina Caroli, a junior criminal justice major who is a member of the Mohegan tribe, said the event was to, quote, showcase just a little bit of what Indigenous art entails, end quote. Caroli also encourages non-Indigenous members of the university to acknowledge that Indigenous culture still exists. Along with doing research, Caroli said that, quote, there is no harm in educating yourself, end quote. Many students showed up to the event, making the first Indigenous Art Fest a success. To keep an eye out for more events by the Hyatt Center, check out their Charger Connection page or their Instagram at unewhaven_MCDI.
As we enter the home stretch of the semester, students are looking forward to Thanksgiving break, but it often leaves a few questions about travel plans for residential students as residence halls close. Thanksgiving break is scheduled from Wednesday, November 3rd to Sunday, November 27th. Classes remain in session on Tuesday, November 22nd, but residential students should be aware that their residential halls will be closing at 10 p.m. that evening. As a part of the regular preparation students must make before leaving for break, it is likely that you may see a Thanksgiving break closing checklist posted on the door to your suite. As part of this checklist, students should clean their residencies, remove all trash, remove perishable food items from their rooms and refrigerators, turn off all lights, lock all windows and close all shades, secure all faucets, and if applicable, students should set their heat to a comfortable temperature to avoid freezing pipes. Make sure to sign and date your checklist before leaving for break. Only students who have been pre-approved by the Office of Residential Life to stay on campus housing over break are allowed to stay in residential facilities. If you are an international student, a graduate student, an approved student athlete, or live more than 300 miles away and need to stay in campus housing over the break and have not yet completed a Thanksgiving break housing application, you may contact the Office of Residential Life for potential approval at reslife@newhaven.edu. Residence halls will reopen on Sunday, November 27th at noon ahead of the last full week of classes. If you are traveling for the break, travel safe and have a wonderful Thanksgiving break.
Now let's head to Sadie with the latest entertainment. What's new this week?
Thanks, guys. The newest Marvel movie, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, was released in theaters this weekend. The sequel to Black Panther was written by Joe Robert Cole and Ryan Coogler, who also directed the film. The beloved cast returns in this film as Wakandans take on the next chapter of their lives after the death of T'Challa. The late Chadwick Boseman was anticipated to return to his role as T'Challa in Wakanda Forever, but many agree that this movie is a beautiful representation of his life and career after his passing in August of 2020. As of now, Wakanda Forever has an 84% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 7 out of 10 rating on IMDb. Reviewers are saying things like, quote, I think this film lives up to its predecessor in many ways, both from a screenplay and a viewing perspective, end quote. And, quote, an emotional, cathartic tribute that provides not only a much needed release to help us with the loss, but an intelligent political thriller, end quote. See for yourselves the brilliance of Wakanda Forever in a theater near you. The nominees for the 2022 Game Awards were announced on November 15th. There are 31 categories at the 8th Annual Game Awards, including Best Score in Music, Best Ongoing Game, Most Anticipated, and Content Creator of the Year, just to name a few. The nominees for Game of the Year 2022 are A Plague Tale Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Stray, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Cast your votes for each category on the Game Awards official website now. Tune in to see who wins each category during the official stream of the Game Awards on Thursday, December 8th, 2022 at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Another awards show announced nominations this weekend. The 65th Grammy Awards will air Sunday, February 5th, 2023. The 65th Grammy Awards will include 91 categories such as Song of the Year, Best Rock Performance, Best R&B Song, Best Rap Album, Best Musical Theater Album, and many more from all genres of music and song. Nominees for the highly anticipated Album of the Year include Voyage by ABBA, 30 by Adele, Un Verano Sin Ti by Bad Bunny, Renaissance by Beyoncé, Good Morning Gorgeous by Mary J. Blige, In These Silent Days by Brandi Carlile, Music of the Spheres by Coldplay, Mr. Ral and the Big Steppers by Kendrick Lamar, Special by Lizzo, and Harry's House by Harry Styles. Tune into the awards on February 5th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on CBS to see who will take home the Grammy for each category. That's all for entertainment. I'm Sadie Fraser-Reed, and now let's head to Justin Coviello with Student Life.
Thanks, Sadie. If you were near Jasmine's around 6:30 p.m. this past Monday, November 14th, you might have heard some singing, and that's because our fully charged a cappella group just held their first performance since the beginning of COVID. They performed 2 songs as part of their medley on the Bartels patio. The first performance was I'm Still Standing by Elton John, and the second was Honey I'm Good by Andy Grammer. For future performances from Fully Charged, make sure to check their page on Charger Connection. This Friday, November 18th at 9:30 p.m., the Caribbean Student Association will be holding their annual Rep Your Flag event in the German Club. This event is meant to allow all members of the campus community to represent their heritage proudly and to celebrate and learn about a variety of cultures. Those interested were able to place orders for a flag to be picked up at the door in order to truly celebrate one another. Flags of all countries were allowed to be ordered, not just those of Caribbean descent, but flags are not mandatory to attend. Tickets can be purchased at the door at $2 for University of New Haven students and $5 for everyone else. The flyer can be found on their Instagram at newhaven_CSA. And for any questions, you can email them at csa@newhaven.edu. Hope to see you there. On Saturday, November 19th, the Sisters of Delta Phi Epsilon will be holding their annual D for Dude event in the Rec Center with doors opening at 7:30 p.m. This is their 15th annual pageant to benefit the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, with their goal being to raise at least $20,000 this semester for the foundation to help patients and families reeling with the disease, as well as research to create life-saving drugs. The event gets the name D for Dude from the title the winner of the contest receives. D for Dude then works with Delta Phi Epsilon to help promote their philanthropies and values. Contestants signed up in the previous weeks when Delta Phi Epsilon tabled in anticipation for the event, and attendance is open to all university members, with the cost to attend being a donation of at least $5 to their Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. Some of the activities which will take place at the event include a talent portion, a PowerPoint round, a group dance, and an interview section. Audience members will be enrolled in a giveaway which will include multiple themed baskets. For any further questions, contact Delta Phi Epsilon by email at dpe@newhaven.edu, and let's help make CF stand for Keir Found. Now we head to Charger Bulletin sports editor Chris Elwell for this week's update in sports.
Thanks, Justin. This week in sports, the men's basketball team visits St. Michael's to begin yet another season. After losing to St. Thomas Aquinas by 71-61 in the NCAA Division II regional semifinals, the New Haven men's basketball team has not played in more than 8 months. The Chargers will travel to Vermont, where they will play the St. Michael's Purple Knights to open the 2022-2023 season opener. The Chargers will start the season with conference play for the first time since the 2014-15 season. Our Chargers rally home on November 19th. Hope to see you there. Our field hockey team does it again with a win over Bentley. The team will be heading to the Northeast 10 Championship semifinal versus Pace on November 18th at 6 p.m. The team found what they were looking for all game in a nail-biter win of an overtime period. Aaron Smith scored the game-ending goal, leading the team to play this Friday at 6 p.m. The Chargers tallied up 8 shots on net, while goalie Kira Integlia kept the team afloat with 4 saves. We also want to congratulate our quarterback, Connor Dagenhart, on being named the Northeast 10's Conference Player of the Year. Dagenhart led the conference with a passer rating of 162.6 and 28 touchdown passes. That's all for this week in sports. Back to you guys at the desk.
This past Monday, November 14th, the Hyatt Center for Diversity and Inclusion celebrated its 6-year anniversary at the university, with a quaint birthday party held in their office located in Gerber Hall. The festivities were open to anyone who wanted to attend, with plenty of food, desserts, music, and lots of good company. The Hyatt Center's director, Christian Kemp-Delazer, Assistant Director Jennifer Thorndike Gonzalez and Assistant Director of LGBTQ+ Resources Ian Schick were all in attendance at the anniversary party. Accompanying the Mite Center staff were many other diversity wellness educators who helped to further foster an inclusive campus community. The Mite Center was started 6 years ago with the intent of further cultivating an inclusive environment, hosting programs and events dedicated to educating our university community on topics pertaining to diversity and inclusion, as well as providing another resource for students from marginalized communities to help them feel safer on campus. The Myatt Center for Diversity and Inclusion is named after Kevin Myatt, an honorary doctor of business administration from the University of New Haven in 2016. If you ever need to report a bias incident, would like to join or connect with a multicultural or underrepresented recognized student organization, or just need to talk to a friendly face, the Myatt Center is always willing to see you. The Myatt Center is open Monday through Friday from 8:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. For any questions, email them at cdi@newhaven.edu, and for more events like their birthday shebang, make sure to stay up to date on their Charger connection. Now we go to Charger Bulletin's Jason Cole for an update on the Entrepreneurship Club's annual SMERD pitch competition.
This past Thursday, the University of New Haven Entrepreneurship Club held its SMERD pitch competition, where different people could bring in their pitches for the chance to win $6,000 in first place and $4,000 in second place, to be determined by their panel of judges. Some of the pitches included Zootopia, whose pitch was to provide international students with access to affordable housing and information such as banking and other things around the area. Fitbox, with the objective of providing a new fitness experience using virtual reality metrics to create a better workout experience. Partybox, whose objective is to make a better party playing experience by providing virtual reality decorations for a better selection process. On the Go, which would provide delivery on campus dining by employing students to run a DoorDash-esque operation on campus in exchange for money. And Translator, whose objective was to convert diesel cars to electric cars to better the environment. In the end, the winners were as follows. Partybox ended up winning the fan favorite. On the Go won second place, a prize of $4,000, and Zootopia won the grand prize of $6,000. From the atrium at the Orange campus, this is Jason Cull, Charger Bulletin News.
The University of New Haven Theater Program is currently presenting their production, The Hatmaker's Wife, written by Lauren Yee. While the show opened on Wednesday, November 16th, there is still time to watch the performance before the show concludes. Barry Leibowitz, a senior marine biology major, is an actor playing the part of Hetchman, who Leibowitz described as the, quote, archetypal sitcom dad, end quote. According to Leibowitz, the play is, quote, a domestic dramedy about people learning to open themselves up to being and feeling love despite influence of personal tragedy and generational change, end quote. The play is scored by John Voda, a junior music and sound recording major, who described the music that was needed for the production as being heavily influenced by traditional Jewish music. In an interview with Joseph Oliveira, a sophomore communication major and the head of marketing and publicity for the play. Tickets for The Hatmaker's Wife, directed by Meg Savalonis, are available on Eventbrite through the link tree in the Theater Arts Instagram at UNew Haven Theater Arts. General admission is $15. Admission for seniors, military, New Haven faculty, staff, and alumni is $10, and the fee for students is $5. The performances are being held in Bucknell Theater and have showtime slated for 7:30 p.m. You can catch the final two shows this weekend on Friday, November 18th and Saturday, November 19th. Don't miss your chance to see the theater department put on this show.
That's all the time we have this week.
You can check out the latest Charger Bulletin newspaper on chargerbulletin.com or in newsstands around campus.
Stay up to date by following us on social media at Charger Bulletin.
Check out our link tree for access to our podcast, Behind the Bulletin.
We will be on a hiatus next week for Thanksgiving break, but we will return again after the break during the last week of classes leading up to finals week. I'm Jada Maribel.
And I'm Kat Dennehy. Stay safe, have a wonderful Thanksgiving break, and thank you for watching.